So back when I was a kinder kid and I'd be watching the WWF wrestling on the TV.
Yeah.
And one of my absolute favorite superstars would come out to the ring. I'm talking about HBK, Shawn Michaels.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about his incredible theme song on the show many times. Him singing about how he himself is a sexy boy, not a boy toy.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot one thing about this, though. So if you'll recall, like in the intro of it, the drums kind of build up, the guitars are coming in and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like that moaning chick who's just like, oh, Shawn, right at the start of it. When I was a kid, I didn't understand that was like sexy noises, right?
Okay, what did you think it was?
I thought it was like the sound of Shawn Michaels maybe murdering a woman. And it's like, damn, he is not her boy toy.
Wait, so
He's a fucking stone cold
his gimmick
killer.
was he was a serial murderer of women.
Like he's such a fucking hard ass. He just fucking kills women. This guy's a maniac. A real lady killer indeed. Welcome, lovely listeners, to the Wrestling Talkinist horror movie review podcast on the face of the map. I don't know how we always end up talking about wrestling so much, but I don't care. No regrets.
I don't either, yeah.
Yep. You're here with the host with the most. It's me, your good buddy, Uncle Ben, and who's on the other end of this long-distance phone call?
Hey, it's me, Hollywood Steve over here. What was that voice?
Like I said, long-distance, implying that, like, long-distance calling is still a thing. Like, somebody has to shovel some extra coal into the long-distance machine.
That is how it used to work.
That's how that worked, right?
Yeah, that was how it used to work. They would shovel, like, the amount of coal had to be exactly right to get the number. So, like... There was like a specific amount of coal that was associated with each phone number.
And the distance that it took to connect it to the other number.
And it was a complicated algorithm of distance and phone number. And
well, you know, I'm not really here to ask questions. I'm not an expert. I'm sure it was all perfectly fair, and there was a totally good reason why they charged us more back then.
Absolutely.
How you been doing this week, Steve?
Oh, man. It's a week.
Yeah, it sounds like you kind of had one, haven't you?
Yeah, and as we record, I'm in the midst of dealing with devastating financial news, so...
All right, just what you need on the date of December 1st as we record this. Welcome to the holidays, jackass!
Yeah, thanks. Our engine blew on the car we bought a year ago.
And that's kind of the funny thing about this. Well, it's not really funny, but the weird thing about the timing is, like, we were talking about it earlier, and I was like, wasn't one of us having car trouble this time last year? And you're like, yeah, we just bought that car because you guys had a wreck last year.
Yep.
And then the year before that is when the third gas tank that has been on my car cracked and needed to be replaced. This is the most gas tank consumingest car I've ever seen in my life. These have just been very, like, automotive unfriendly holidays for us for the past several years.
Not a time to have a car and be us. Yeah.
I mean, on the bright side, you are in the year where you don't go anywhere, so that's kind
except
of a plus.
That my wife has continually been going to work and school, so...
Yeah, okay. So
and her finals are now. So this was the perfect time for it to happen, of course.
Man, that is quite a crash landing into the old holidays. We had Thanksgiving there last week.
Yep.
And then this is just kind of what you fall face first into. That blows. But, man, I think I accidentally stole all the good times. I've had a really good week.
Did you take them all? Damn you.
Well, here's the thing is, like, I really do think I somehow might have been some kind of good vibe vampire or something last week, because it's like almost everybody that we know had some kind of horrible shit happen last week.
Yeah.
And we had, again, I feel boastful even talking about it now, but, like, we had the best fucking time because this year...
Yeah, you went to the beach, right?
We went to the beach, right near the beach. The wife and I, decided for the safety of our families and ourselves, we wouldn't be attending Thanksgiving. So, like, months ago, we rented a condo at the beach for just us and the dog. And we planned the entire thing so that we could just go, settle into the condo, never have to leave. Like, we brought all of our own groceries.
Awesome.
We didn't go out to dinner anywhere. We brought homemade pho for Thanksgiving, which is the fucking best pho giving. Is it going to get better than that? Fuck no. Absolutely amazing. We had a really, really, really good time, but as we were there, we found out, the day before Thanksgiving that both of my wife's parents have COVID.
Yeah. Okay, so you didn't steal all the good times. You had some not good times there. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We stole the good times from them, so they're suffering as a result of this.
Oh, no.
This is like a real monkey's paw situation,
Oh,
you know?
no.
Where it's like, I want to have all the fun. Well,
Yeah.
that means nobody gets to have fun. So.
Oh, no.
I know, man. Thankfully, they're pretty mild cases, and then we found out the very next day that a lady that my mom works with has COVID, so my mom's been exposed and stuff. So far, no results there, but, man, shit's just popping off everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm really concerned to see what the number spike is going to be like in a week or two as a result of people
going home for Thanksgiving. Yeah.
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 So, but we had a great time. We were
that's good.
Extraordinarily worthless. This is maybe the laziest vacation conceivable. Like, I don't even know how it could get a lot lazier unless we just literally never got out of bed at a condo.
That's awesome.
So, dude, we were just relaxing. The weather was still nice. We had several days that it got up into like the mid 70s.
Oh, great.
So we spent some time sitting out on the beach. So, not in the water. The water was like freezing.
Obviously, yeah.
But you could still sit out there on a blanket and have yourself a good time. And yeah, drank like an absolutely embarrassing amount of champagne. Ate like pigs and watched some flicks and stuff while we were out there. You want to hear about them, Steve?
Yeah, what have you been watching?
Well, I'll tell you what. If you're a listener and you don't want to hear about them, you just want to get right on to the review of Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Okay, first, fuck you then.
Yeah,
you think you're better than us? Fine. Jeez.
What's your deal, pal? Oh, I love Tammy
what do
and the
you got going
T-Rex
on?
so much.
Like, I picture somebody listening to this podcast and they're like, like really exhaling hard and like looking at their watch, like, I gotta be back in the office, but I really want to know if they like Tammy and the T-Rex. Okay. Yes, we love Tammy and the T-Rex. You're gonna hear about it later on in the show. There's a timestamp for you in the episode description. Isn't that right, Steve?
Yeah, it's right down there. Just go right to it. You can listen to our whole review, and you can take the number. And you can tell your friends, oh my God, Dead and Lovely gave Tammy and the T-Rex a blank.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then rate and review on iTunes. Thank you.
Yeah, and then rate and review on iTunes. Too long.
5
Had
stars.
to skip the intro. I didn't like it. 5 stars.
I want a refund.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Actually, by the way, go on, give legit complaints, but then 5 stars no matter what.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
fine.
The 5 stars are really what matters.
Yeah,
I only
that's
read
the only part.
the reviews if they're 5 stars. So if you're trying to tell us something, we need to change. 5-star that shit, okay?
I would love that, a 5-star review that just eviscerates us.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I give us 5 stars because I knew you fucking jackasses would read it if I did. But listen, fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, so firstly, we crash landed there and we watched a couple of Thanksgiving classics that, of course, everybody's seen a million times: Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay, yeah. I have seen that a million times.
As well as some son-in-law.
Oh, and son-in-law. Also have seen that a million times.
Double feature. Had ourselves a good old time with that one. We also got ourselves caught up on The Mandalorian. As we record this, I think 4th episode just came out.
I have not watched any of this season yet. We were waiting until Emily's done with finals, so I don't know anything about it. Does it still have a Baby Yoda?
It has the baby.
Okay.
And you know that like now they're just like, we can just show that baby every like 5 minutes.
And it's super
and
cute,
people
and
will go
everybody will be
nuts.
like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. It still works on me every fucking time. I'm not tired of that little baby. So they can keep on pushing that thing around. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
I won't spoil anything for you. It's been fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Of course.
Yeah, I've been
Absolutely
having
killer.
to, like, anytime I see Mandalorian, I just have to scroll really fast. Like, I don't want any sort of spoilers. Have they been they've been releasing it by week? Is that how they're doing it?
I think so. I think it's like every Friday.
I hate that.
Yeah, I know, like having to wait sucks, right?
Yeah.
It's like being a caveman again.
It is. It's like the worst. Basically, streaming is going to become cable again. Eventually, it's going to be like, you don't even get to choose what you stream. It's what we're streaming at this time.
So while we were watching The Mandalorian and totally enjoying that, I got to tell you, man, my thoughts did wander a little bit, and it got me thinking something about this Star Wars universe. I don't think anybody's ever really questioned before. We just, we're given the script, we're given the pretty visuals, we go with it. We don't question it.
Sure.
Except for now.
All right.
Because I got to thinking about this, and I want to know the answer. Okay. So across the Star Wars universe, we've got all these like cantinas and stuff, right? Where people of all different species and from different alien planets and stuff, everybody comes together. They get down. They have a good time, man. They drink strange liquids together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's people from all over the galaxy, right?
Yeah, werewolves even hanging out.
Okay, yeah. So, like, werewolf guy, devil guy.
Sure.
That one guy, I guess, is just the devil. He's from planet Hell.
Yep, just devil dude. Yep.
Weird, like, arachnid and, lizard creatures and shit like this.
Yep.
As well as just, whatever else happens to crawl into that place.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing that I'm wondering about, Steve. What is the bathroom situation in that cantina like?
Oh, okay, yeah. Because all of them would probably have some form of waste they need to excrete.
I should think.
Huh.
But do you think, like, a Hutt and a Wookiee get rid of it the same way? I don't think
Probably
so.
not. Probably not. I imagine a Wookiee probably similar to a human. Whereas a Hutt, like, where's its butthole?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, man. But, either way, they're going to have some way to give that thing a bathroom. Maybe, like, what if the Star Wars universe is, like, ultra accommodating, and it's like a different bathroom for every single fucking species and gender that species has, and you end up with these little cantinas that are attached to like a warehouse that's just bathrooms to accommodate everybody.
and they have to do that because the intergalactic conservatives are like, I can't have a Hutt and a Wookiee bathroom. What if it
exactly
the Wookiee molests the Hutt? What?
What? Really?
Yeah.
I think they just have a big trough. I think it's just a big old trough.
Just a huge trough, and you just, whatever it is that you use to get rid of your shit, you put it in that trough.
I think so. There's just no questions asked. You see a lot of weird stuff when you go to a cantina bathroom.
Just don't talk about it.
But either way,
yep.
yeah, there's like either like a huge hole or a huge trough, and you lean over it, you stand over it, you ooze over whatever it is you need to do. That's just how it works.
Yeah,
so
okay.
That's my thoughts, I guess,
I like this.
We also watched The King of Staten Island.
Oh.
Which is that new Judd Apatow joint with what's his name? Pete Davidson?
Oh, right. Pete Davidson. Right. Okay.
Yeah, from the SNL in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really like a huge fan of his exactly.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I've seen him in interviews. He seems fine.
Yeah, like he's like okay on my list, but not really like one of my favorite comedians or anything like that. So I was kind of going into it like, yeah, whatever. But he's kind of playing a character that isn't really necessarily supposed to be all that likable per se anyway, and he does an absolutely incredible job, and apparently a lot of it is based on like the story of his life and shit. And man, really, it's one of the best Judd Apatow movies, period. It might be the best overall, like as a movie. It's not really out to be super hilarious, like something like Knocked Up or something like that. It's not really that vibe. It is more of a character study kind of movie, and full of fantastic performances and stuff. I really liked it a lot. I would recommend checking it out.
All right. Yeah. All right. I have to write that too.
Well, Steve, what have you been watching this week, man? I've been checking out the Instagram posts. You've been watching a lot of things.
Yeah. So I just finished just yesterday, as you said. We're recording on December 1st. Just finished my 2 months of watching a horror movie every single day.
Woo!
And it's been a wild ride. I've definitely, I'd say, benefited from it. It has reminded me how much I love horror, how just wide-ranging a genre horror is. Like horror comedy, adventure horror, action horror, all sorts of types of horror out there. It's you can watch a horror movie every day and never feel like you're getting too much of one thing, because you can just, if you feel like you're getting too much gruesome shit, you can go to another type of horror that's less gruesome. Whatever you're looking for, there's something for you. So
yeah,
I just this week watched so many movies that I haven't seen, and I don't want to dwell too long on them because there's a ton that could be said about all of them. I watched Ghost Ship.
Oh yeah,
that opening scene is great, absolutely awesome.
All them people, they get cleft in twain, don't they?
That opening scene's awesome. That's all that needs to be said about Ghost Ship.
I honestly don't remember anything else about it. Like, when I think Ghost Ship, I'm just like, yeah, all those people get cut in half.
Yep.
Couldn't tell you a thing else about it. Don't know who's in it. I got nothing.
Juliana Margulies is in there. What's his name? Carl Urban. There's some people in there. Yeah. Then I watched The New Mutants, and this was actually the one that kind of reminded me of how wide-ranging horror could be, because I remember when they announced The New Mutants, they were like, it's going to be like a comic book sort of horror movie.
Yeah.
And it does have some horror elements, but they obviously were trying to, I don't know what they were trying to do at times. It's clear that the reshoots that the director wanted to do would have helped the movie. Basically, the first hour of the movie is introing us to all the characters, and then there's only 30 minutes left in the movie.
Oh, shit. It's one of those deals. Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, the studio screwed this up, for sure, because it is solid. The bits that are there. Like, the bits that are there, it's clear that there could be a good movie out of it. And the actors are all good. Like, they did a good job with the casting. You got Maisie Williams in there. You got Anya Taylor-Joy, who is awesome as Magic.
Oh, yeah.
So
awesome.
Great. But it's lacking a lot. But the worst part about it is watching it and seeing all the potential and then realizing, like, oh, this isn't going to go anywhere. Because
yeah, they're not going to get another swing.
Yeah, they're not getting another swing at it, and it sucks because Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic is great. Like, I'd love to see her, or at the very least, I'd love to see her come back in any role to the MCU. That would be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie's just it's not worth the rental for sure. I'd wait until it's streaming on some service you're already paying for.
Okay, all right.
But then I've been watching some more, I don't know, some titles that have come out more recently that I've just been wanting to get to. So I watched Coherence, which is a movie people have been recommending to me for like 5 years, I think.
I don't think I know that one.
It is, the setup is essentially a quantum physics quandary. Like, it's
okay, cool. I like that.
It involves like shifting timelines and all sorts of stuff like that. What I really liked about it is how simple it is, like how complicated the idea is, but actually how simple the execution is. Basically, you have this one group of people, and there is a separate group of people that are their exact duplicates.
Okay. That's cool.
It's a party that goes off the rails and moves from there. I really enjoyed the way it played out, and I think I'll watch it again because knowing what you learn throughout, I think it deserves a second watch. But definitely a cool little movie. I also watched In the Tall Grass.
I've been hearing about that. Yeah, well, like months ago, I guess, whenever it came out, I was hearing about it.
Yeah. It's Joe Hill and Stephen King. It's I think it's a little long, but definitely worth a watch because there's some stuff in there that is brutal. Just brutal. And some really cool visuals.
Can you give me like a subgenre of like what that would fit into in horror?
Oh man. What's it like? I mean, okay, basically the opening is these brother and sister are driving. They stop at like right beside a cornfield and they hear a little boy crying from the cornfield for help. Okay,
pretty spooky.
The way to, I don't know what to compare it to after that though. Like, it's I mean, it's maybe got some connections to Children of the Corn type of stuff, but not really that. Like, not the story doesn't play out in any way similar to that. It's just that there's a fucked up cornfield. And I also watched a movie called Porno on Shudder.
Okay, all right.
This one is one I do recommend for everybody out there who grew up either in evangelical churches or Mormon church, any church that dealt with not jerking off and not watching porno. Porno is going to be right up your alley.
Oh, damn. Okay,
Yeah.
sign me up.
It's an absolute SEO nightmare, though. Like, just think about how you would Google it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that does make it a little bit hard to find, doesn't it, when the title is porno?
I'll tell you this, it's on Shudder. And guess what? Looking up porno Shudder, surprisingly, still gets you porn.
I'm not really surprised, honestly. I think you can find pretty much anything. Like, you can be like look around your desk. Headphones porn. That's definitely out there. Clip-on guitar tuner porn. That might be a new one. Tune my dick, teacher. That's out there. I already know it is.
I also watched Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight, which is a Polish horror movie. It's on Netflix. It is so wonderfully steeped in slashers and camp slashers specifically. And
now we're talking.
Yeah, good gruesome shit and fun meta horror elements to it. Worth a watch.
All right. Oh, I definitely got to see that. I'm excited to check that out. Sounds like it's just kind of a list of a lot of things that I like.
Yeah. I think you'll enjoy it.
So overall, kind of a mix of good and bad for the Dead and Lovely boys this week. I hope that your problems get resolved. I'm glad that we're both taking in some good flicks and stuff like that. And I'd also like to take in a beer into my face. You want to do that with me?
Yeah.
Ooh, snap into that slim beer. What are you having over there?
I got this here. Clown shoes. These are the shoes of a clown.
Mm-hmm, yep.
It's Rainbows Are Real Hazy IPA.
Where'd you get that from?
Well, a Ben Eller handed it to me.
It was me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a little social distant beer drop there a couple weeks ago, and that's one of the ones that I put in the box of goodies for you. I got a 4-pack of that over at Merchants of Beer in the old city, Knoxville, a couple months ago. It was like during the summer. And I got it, and I didn't realize that it says on the side of the can that it's got terpenes and stuff in it.
Yeah, it does.
Usually I don't like them weed eater beers. That's usually not really my kind of thing. But I got it because it was Clown Shoes, and Clown Shoes makes fucking awesome stuff. They do.
I've only this will be the third I think I've had, but the other two I enjoyed. So
yeah, man, it's a 3 for 3 for me, man, because I saw that label on there about the terpenes, and I was like, oh damn it, I bought another weed IPA again.
Yeah.
And then I drank it and I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. It's definitely my favorite terpenated, if that's a word, beer that I've had. I predict that you'll like it a lot too, man.
Yeah, it's hazy as hell looking at it here in this here glass. I'm going to get me a little sniff of it.
I myself am drinking a Maine Beer Company Fall, which is their coffee stout. This is the first beer I drank as a Knoxvillian, the final day of our moving to Knoxville.
Yeah.
Finished unloading a vehicle, swung by, actually it was Merchants of Beer, on my way home, and just was like, I'm going to buy me a beer to drink. And it was one of these right here, man. Maine Brewing, or Maine Beer Company. I keep saying Maine Brewing for some reason. It's Maine Beer Company. Man alive, they make such good stuff, and this fall coffee stout is no exception. Let's get my whiskers in there. What do you think about that beer you got there, Steve?
Yeah, it's I just got a little taste of it here. It's good and piney. It's funky, but it's not like it doesn't taste like bong water.
Mm-hmm.
So the terpenes aren't bonging it up. It still tastes like a good IPA.
You know what it kind of tastes like? If you could take the smell of really good weed and turn it into a flavor.
There you go.
If that makes sense, you know?
No,
like
yeah, that makes absolute sense.
Like, weed cookies or brownies or whatever, like the taste of weed is always kind of the same.
Yeah.
But that's more like how a really good weed smells.
Yeah, this is very drinkable.
This fall coffee stout is a delight, man. It's not too heavy. It's like 5.6%, so it's not ridiculously boozy or anything. It's so good, though, man. It's got like a nice, light cold brew coffee kind of coffee flavor to it. Like a lot of coffee stouts have that more like espresso bitterness to them,
Yeah.
This has a little bit lighter, a little bit less dark, a little bit less chocolatey kind of taste to it. It tastes more like a good coffee. Man, it's so good. And I've let it sit out for a little while too, so it's a little bit warmer. Well, Steve, now that we're refreshing our faces with some co-beer codes, I think it sounds like a good idea for us to get on in here into that preview palace.
Welcome to the preview palace.
That's right. And in honor of the fact that today we are talking about Tammy and the T-Rex, I say we give these busters, these dead and lovelies, these deadites out there tuning into the show.
That's them.
I'd like to give them maybe like a top 10 list of movies that are so bad they're good, because Tammy and the T-Rex is a movie that is
so bad it's good.
So bad. And it's absolutely amazing, but sometimes you can be so bad that it's bad.
That's sure. Yeah, that happens. Like the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Ooh.
Just so bad it's bad.
It's just not enjoyable.
No.
It's like... And I don't think they were trying to make a bad movie. I think they were trying to make a good movie about video games for kids, but then it just...
Yeah.
It went off the rails,
It absolutely did. When they had dudes with those tiny little heads. The
oh,
Goombas.
My God.
What?
Dennis Hopper? Like, what the fuck?
Dennis Hopper was off of his out of his mind in that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely so. So, before we started recording, me and Steve here scoured the net, looking at a bunch of lists of,
We got Sandy Bullock on it.
Yeah, we got all kinds. We scoured the net, and we found a lot of people's lists of, movies that are so bad that they're good, and we're going to give them to you and tell you if we think they're so bad they're good, or maybe they're just so bad that they're bad. Now, I will say, just to kind of put the listeners in the frame of mind of what we're talking about here, there's movies such as The Room, like movies that a lot of people revere for their badness. Maybe you got one that you could toss me that is one that I haven't seen that you would describe as being so bad that it's good.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're talking on the level of The Room, then Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
Birdemic. This is one that was on all those lists, but I have never seen it.
Birdemic is so horrendously bad, but charmingly bad. Like, the thing is, like, because we've watched some real bad movies on the Screamin' Chat on Friday nights. We've watched like Suburban Sasquatch and things like that are just
straight to VHS movies,
just horrendous, hard to watch. Birdemic is funny. Like, it's funny in its hard to watchness. I really do find it strangely charming throughout. Like, everything about it is so poorly done and like poorly thought out, and like the idea that somebody put so much time and effort into the product that we get, which is Birdemic, is outlandish and will just make you laugh as you're watching it. Like, to think about someone sitting down and being like, yeah, this is a good idea, I should do this.
That's what I love about these, is like watching them knowing that this had to get greenlit so many different times for this even to be made. So many
people had to be like, yes, let's do this for this to happen. Yeah.
So, like, that's an example of one that's so bad that it's good. Now, there's one that I'll recommend to you that's just so bad that it's fucking unbelievably bad.
Okay.
But at the same time, I would watch this with you just to sit there and gauge your reactions to it. I'm talking about Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah.
With Mila Kunis and what's the old potato face guy? What's his name? Channing Tatum.
Potato face. Guy.
He looks like a potato. He does.
Okay. All right.
It's so fucking crazy. I mean, it is absolutely, 50 pounds of shit slammed into a 5-pound sock. Like, I don't even know how they crammed so much stupid fucking shit into a movie. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's got not just Mila Kunis and what's it, Potato Face, she said. Also, Eddie Redmayne is in there,
Eddie Redmayne's performance in it is unbelievable. Like, I don't know what direction he was given or what he was thinking of, because obviously it's like, we've seen him in other stuff. He's not like a horrible actor or anything like that.
Right.
His performance in this movie is one of the most batshit insane things I have ever witnessed. It's insane.
It's directed by the Wachowskis, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck happened to this movie, dude, but it's so bad that it really is.
I need to watch
bad.
it. I can't believe I haven't watched it yet. I need to sit down and watch it.
Definitely, man.
So, Ben, what about a little horror movie by the name of Jason X.
Jason X,
Yeah. We've talked about some horror movies on here like Deep Blue Sea and Anaconda that definitely fit into So Bad It's Good, but Jason X is on another level, I think.
He gets a lot of shit from people. Like, I know a lot of like hardcore horror fans that shit all over that movie. I think it's because they don't know how to have a good time, because this movie is so bad that it's good, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous. Like the head-shattering scene, the fact that there's a cyborg, the fact that David Cronenberg is in it for a little bit. Like, what is even going on with it? It's Jason in space. Like, the premise of it is insane.
Yeah, just go with it.
Yeah, it's a world that I like to visit. I really do. Like, going back through the Friday the 13th movies, those last, you get through 7, which is I think fun and crazy because
totally,
it's got telepathy and all that stuff involved. But then Jason Takes Manhattan is just bad, and Jason Goes to Hell, not very good. So Jason X comes along, and it's just the ridiculous premise, but then it actually follows up. It gives you the premise. It gives it fully, because Jason Takes Manhattan was mostly on a boat.
Yeah, totally.
Jason in Space is Jason in space. It's awesome.
Spacing with Jason. So that one's a definite winner, man. Now,
for sure.
Let's kind of talk about another beloved Saturday afternoon watcher. This is one that I always remember seeing on TBS and TNT and everything all through my childhood, but it was only maybe a year or two ago that I watched Roadhouse for the first time.
Roadhouse.
And I rediscovered how good a movie can be, because this movie is an absolute
so ridiculous
lunatic pile of garbage.
Yeah.
And it's a blast.
It's a blast, yeah. It's so silly, crazy, stupid. Just how did that even come about?
I don't know.
Was somebody just what if you were a badass bouncer at a shit-kicking bar? And it's okay, yeah, what if? Yeah, what if? That's the movie.
Start shooting.
Yeah, go.
Why isn't anybody filming this right now?
Just what we're saying is genius. Well, you just said the premise. That's it. Yeah, it's great. He'll do some kicks, man. It'll be cool.
Dude, the amount of just insane bullshit in that movie is fantastic. And I don't think they were trying to make a bad movie. It's not self-aware enough to be okay, they were just making fun of themselves here. No, I think they were trying to make a serious movie.
They're fucking excess, man. That's what people want.
Yeah, they want guys fighting and another guy saying to another guy, I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
Used to fuck guys like you in prison. Yep.
And then
classic
he gets his
line.
throat ripped out.
Then he gets his throat ripped out, and it's treated seriously. The movie that's the beauty of Roadhouse, is that it's not, it never does wink at you we're in on the joke. It's always just no, this guy's just super badass,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that one's so bad that it's good for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think about people that say that Halloween Resurrection is so bad that it's good?
I mean, it's so over the top that it's funny, for sure.
Yeah. It's funny that somebody thought this should be a Mike Myers movie.
Right, yeah. I mean, gosh, the Busta Rhymes fighting Michael Myers, it's so
bad. I don't find it fun to watch.
No, it's not. So yeah, that one doesn't fit into so bad it's good. It's just so bad it's bad.
Yeah, the whole reality show thing, and it just totally shits all over it. Well, that feels stupid to say that. Shit's all over the history of the Halloween franchise. Good Lord. Every movie does. All of them.
Yeah, I think absolutely if the majority of your sequels shit all over the franchise, that the franchise maybe is shit. Right?
I don't know. Has a couple of good entries, but most of it's real bad.
Real bad, yeah. Though, I mean, there are people out there that absolutely love those. Like 4 and 5 have their fans. I don't know how many, if anybody is a huge fan of Halloween Resurrection. If they are, please explain.
Yeah, let us know why.
Yeah, but yeah, 4 and 5 have their fans. And I know a lot of people that like H2O, and I would say after 4 and 5, like if you're not a 4 and 5 fan, H2O is a pretty cool, just solid slasher movie.
Yeah,
but
it's all right.
It does start with the premise of Michael Myers drives across country.
Yeah, it does that. Road trip.
Yeah.
Now, longtime listeners to the show know that we're all about that highfalutin, highbrow, elevated horror. We like thinking deeply. We look at movies and we're like, this movie didn't go deeply enough. I think it should have gone more deeplier. They know we're a bunch of brainiacs, but you know what, Steve? The truth is,
Yeah.
even though we are geniuses, we gotta let our big old brains cool off every now and then. We're just like you guys. We're just like you people listening to this right now. Yeah. And we know how to enjoy something that is at surface level very stupid, but turns out being kind of excellent, such as the Fast and the Furious series, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of got me started on it because you were like, no, really, watch them.
Yeah.
They're fun, man. Come on.
Yeah, they are. They're real fun. I would say some of them, like, when you watch the first one, I think it's legit so bad it's good. Like, when you get to some of the sequels, they've, like, embraced the insanity and stuff, and it's like, oh, no, this is just good. Like, it's just, like, a good action movie that embraces how ridiculous this world is. But, like, that first one, it's so, like, the relationship that Dom and what's his name? From this movie, Paul Walker.
Paul Walker, yeah.
Yeah, the relationship they have is just so intensely hyper masculine and like just ridiculous.
That fight scene, dude.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So like, yeah, you're watching it and it's just like, what? But like, you really get into it. It's like the beats work really well. I mean, it's part 2 wasn't good at all. And then part 3 happens in the future, but is a good movie, but doesn't involve Paul Walker or Vin Diesel at all. Once you get past that, though, 4 through all the ones is when they've embraced the insanity and just been like, okay, we get what people like about these movies. Let's do more of that. That's when you bring in The Rock and Jason Statham and like just everybody. Yeah.
Well, that's also, too, where I'm pretty sure they let the writing of the script, especially for the action beats and stuff like that, go to like 5-year-old boys in the bathtub, and they'd hand them a handful of Hot Wheels. Like, okay, what's going to happen? And the kid's like, listen, it's driving off a cliff, and The Rock is driving, and it goes, shh, zoom, and then there's another car over on the other side of the cliff. It's also going, but it shoots a missile at it, and he dodges it in midair, and he parachutes onto the other car like this.
And then
splash in the
a
bathtub.
Producer asks the child, of course, well, wait, why do they do all this? And then the child's like, family. And
yeah,
like,
exactly.
We'll have Dom say that a lot. It's about family.
Those are just fun movies, man. It's like stuff doesn't have to be, staggering works of genius for us to enjoy it. We have
Absolutely
a good time. I had a pretty good time when I watched a staggering piece of shit that I talk about all the time. Anytime I get the opportunity to talk about The Wraith, I will take it because this movie is a treasure to me. We reviewed it a long time ago on the drunkest episode of the episode ever.
Yep. Yes.
Holy moly.
It's got a lot of fans because it has exactly what we've been talking about, which is just so much ridiculous stuff done sincerely.
Yeah, they didn't think they were making a bad movie, I'm pretty sure.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I think they thought they were making a movie that might be right in lines with, The Warriors and stuff like that, and Mad Max and stuff, but, nope.
It's just real dumb. It was totally whereas I'll say, Tammy the T-Rex, and we'll talk about this more as we go here, seems like a movie that was fueled by a lot of weed.
Sure.
The Wraith is definitely a big old cocaine fest.
Oh, yeah,
they
definitely.
were just all riding fat rails of the devil's dandruff and being like, yeah, it'd be the best idea. It's the best idea because I just had it. Let's do it. Let's put it in the movie.
Did you hear the words I just said? Those were poetry, basically. Write those down.
If you lose the race, you lose your car.
Whoa.
Genius.
It's like deep. There's like multiple levels. No, there's the one level. That is the only.
There's just the one. I love the Wraith so much, but I know it's not one that you necessarily were able to sink your teeth into.
I don't love it, but like there are definitely very funny moments about it. Like the two guys always like drinking motor oil and shit. Like what is going on with them?
It was a Skank and Gutterball or Gutterhead or something like that.
Yeah.
Skank and, I can't remember the other guy's name.
Gutter Boy.
There it is.
And then also, of course, Clint Howard. He's great. Yeah, Rughead. He's great.
Oh, God. It's a must-watch, man. I'll talk about that one anytime that I can. Now, let's talk about another franchise here that, started off one direction, went another direction. Some people really hated on it. I'm talking about The Dark Knight, that crime-fighting hero in Gotham. And whenever he hit the theaters with Batman and Robin, when we were just Utes, I remember a lot of people being like, this is one of the worst movies ever, and they fucking hated it.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Batman and Robin?
Well, at the time, I was in high school. I remember seeing it and it being, to me, disappointing because, of course, I like the Tim Burton Batmans, but like also kind of in line with Batman Forever, which had just come out before it. So it wasn't like a huge disappointment. But I've watched it since, and it's funny bad. Like it's not enraging bad. Like
no.
The thing is, like once Tim Burton left Batman and we got Batman Forever, it was like, oh, okay, well Tim Burton's gone, so it's not Tim Burton Batman. They're gonna make it just kind of sillier and more over the top. All right,
totally.
And then Batman and Robin just followed up on the silly.
Yeah, it kind of did. And the thing about it is like, I know that blew people's minds whenever they had that change of direction from Burton over to those movies. But it's like, have you ever watched the Adam West Batman stuff? It's campy as fuck. Like, it's super cheesy. This is like a 90s update of that.
Yeah, that was it. But that's why it was not appreciated, because they thought they were going to be drawing in the audience from that show and didn't realize that the main audience for Batman were the kids that were growing up watching Batman the Animated Series at the same time.
Okay, that's true. That was kind of living at the same time.
And Batman the Animated Series was serious.
The best.
Like, dark and serious. And that's how Tim Burton's movies were. And so I think that's why a lot of people were disappointed with it, because, like, it was like irrelevant by the time they were doing it. It was like they had ignored all the stuff that had happened with Batman since the 60s, which is, I mean, pretty much what it is. But it's also funny. It's stupid. Like, everything Arnold Schwarzenegger says is hilarious.
Oh, my God, dude. Every one of his lines is a zinger. The whole fucking movie, man. Everybody chill.
Yeah, it really is like, watching it now, it's just like, oh, okay. I mean, I know why we were upset back then, but it's fine. It's funny.
I think so. And I don't think it was trying to be a serious movie. So that's one that I definitely chalk up as being like, it's charmingly campy and ridiculous and silly.
Bat
just
nipples.
like kind of the original. Yeah, bat nipples, man. The bat credit card. There's like a McDonald's commercial in it. Like,
there is.
There's so much stupid ass shit in there.
So
like, there's no way
ridiculous.
anybody was trying to take it seriously. It's just fun, man.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me want to go through and watch that again. Now that I think
me
about
too.
it.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing that again. And Batman Forever, because I remember liking that a lot as a kid, liking how over the top Jim Carrey was as the Riddler, because I thought that actually kind of caught how the Riddler is. Like, he is like crazy wacky. Yeah, like scary wacky, and that's kind of how Jim Carrey comes off in that. So
I think so, man. We got a couple more here that we want to talk about that kind of fit a little bit more into the horror world. One that I have right here is a remake of a famed piece of horror history, The Wicker Man, starring a Nicolas Cage. Now, this movie, like, whenever I watched it the first time years ago, it was like on a Sunday afternoon or something, I didn't know if it was supposed to be serious or not. So I just watched what I watched, and I was like, God damn, this is a nutty movie. And then by the end, you've got fucking Nicolas Cage running around punching every woman on the site and just clubbing everybody, and he's wearing a bear costume, and it was just so nuts. And then of course the bees, not the bees, without watching it with any kind of expectation, I saw it with fresh eyes, and I was like, oh, this movie's intentionally ludicrous, and I loved it. Like, I had a good time watching it. Is it supposed to be that way?
That's what happened to me too. I saw it in the theater with no knowledge of what it was going in. Like, I had not seen The Wicker Man, the original, as a kid. Like, I guess it had never been in the place where we rented the movies. The movie that I was going to see was a Nicolas Cage movie, so I was expecting it to be a little bit crazy. And it was exactly that. So walking out of the theater, I was like, that was hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Other people were like super pissed because I guess they wanted a serious movie, which I get. I mean, taking a remake of a serious movie and making it super wacky, you're going to disorient a lot of people for sure. But I don't know. I had fun with it, man.
Yeah, I did too. And I think that's the only way to have fun with it, is to not associate it at all with the thing it's supposedly remaking, because it's just it's a silly Nick Cage experience. That is exactly what that movie's supposed to be, I think. Oh
yeah. Now, this last one that I want to mention here, Steve, is kind of beloved by the horror community because of the director, but it's not exactly a horror movie per se. I'm talking about Night Riders.
Yeah.
Knight, Night Riders.
You told me about this one.
Yeah, this movie I watched years and years and years ago. My friend Brandon Suttles, a friend of the show here, turned me on to it. And I remember back then just being like, this movie's ridiculous. And then I watched it again over the summer, over the course of like 4 days, because the movie's 3 fucking hours long.
Jesus.
It's just massive, dude. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to love it because it is such a stupid premise. But it takes itself... Oh, yeah, that it's knights on motorcycles jousting in the modern age.
And, of course, that was directed by George Romero?
Yeah, somehow.
Okay, somehow. Uh-huh.
And so, I don't know, it's worth watching for sure, but I don't know that it's one that I can say that I love. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, though.
Okay, I need to check it out. I need to block out 3 hours to watch a movie about motorcycle jousting. Yeah,
exactly, with Ed Harris and Tom Savini and a bunch of other people.
I mean, it sounds great.
I mean, when you put it that way,
yeah,
sounds like you're in for a winner in my book right there. Let me toss one more on to you before we get to the movie review here. Now, this is just on the occasion of it now being the holidays, of course.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most widely hated and misunderstood movies in the Christmas movie pantheon, Jingle All the Way, starring Arnie.
Oh, okay.
How you feel about that?
I don't like it, but I love Sinbad.
Okay, all right.
So, it's watchable.
I just love it.
Because, yeah, I know a lot of people love it. It, when did it come out? Like 92, 93? I think it was like, it came out in a period where I felt like I was too old for it, so I didn't watch it. So I didn't see it as a kid. So I don't have any positive associations from childhood with it.
Same.
So I've only seen it as an adult. And I don't hate the movie, but it's not fun for me to watch.
It works for me.
Though the Sinbad scenes are funny. Because he's Sinbad.
I get it. I totally get it, man. But I don't know, man. It's one of those that totally does it for me. So I watch that one every year, and I have myself a good old time.
Wait, does it have Phil Hartman in it?
These cookies. Exactly, it did.
Okay, yeah.
Put the cookie down.
Right, yes. Okay. Jamie, right? He's dressed up.
Jamie.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm remembering it now. Yeah, it's not my favorite. But you know what? Maybe I rewatch it. Maybe I see it with new eyes.
Maybe you do, and maybe everybody listening goes over to the Facebook page and lets us know about your favorite or least favorite bad/good, so good they're bad, so bad they're good movies. Let us know about yours. I know my wife loves that Barbarella.
Okay.
Some people are all about that Masters of the Universe, stuff like that.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe got its fans. Dolph Lundgren wasn't a bad choice for, He-Man, but man, that movie was so disappointing as a kid who loved Masters of the Universe.
Well, I know we got some fans out here that are going to disagree with you, so be sure to go on the Facebook page and talk shit at Steve.
Yeah, facebook.com/Dead and Lovely. Head over there.
Yeah, that's right. And, hey, if you enjoy the show and want to help support us, maybe check out that Patreon page. We've been posting up some Patreon-exclusive content even here lately.
That's right. Patreon.com/Dead and Lovely. Go check out our Creep Show animated special episode. Should have something up sooner than, quicker than a blink of a cricket. What?
Exactly right. That fast.
Yep.
So sign up to the Patreon today, and if you sign up for $5 or more, you can drop in a movie title of your choosing into the smoking bowl of movies that we draw movies out of once a month.
Yeah, we'll be doing another Patreon episode at the end of the month. I'm excited to see what we get. We got some great submissions in the smoking bowl over here, so I'll ask for submissions. You head on over to Patreon, to the patreon.com/Dead and Lovely. You drop your submission, and I'll just randomly draw and see what we get.
That's right. Fuck around and find out over at patreon.com.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Steve.
Are you looking for the ultimate stocking stuffer for this holiday season?
I sure am. What am I going to stuff that thing with?
Well, Ben, look no further, because our sponsors, Manscaped, have the tools to make you win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition.
Oh my God, they got the tools that you need for your tools.
That's right.
It's tool time.
It's tool time with Manscaped.
I don't think so, Tim. I think so, Tim. I'm pretty sure, Tim.
You see, Manscaped is the only brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene products. And great news, Ben. This is for all our European, Canadian, and Australian listeners. Manscaped just released their products across your vast countries.
Holy wow. This is going to be a globe covered in shiny, clean globes.
And I know some of you out there thinking, it's a crazy old time. I don't even get out ever. Why do I need to manscape? Let me tell you this. When you look good, you feel good. And when your boys look good, boy, do they feel good. I'll tell you that.
You're doggone right. You're doggone right, Steve. Just because you're in quarantine don't mean you don't need to be clean, y'all. But, Steve, let me let you in on a little secret here, because I know we got a lot of listeners on the show here that are saying, but, Ben, but, Steve, I ain't got no balls of my own. I don't need this manscaping. Let me tell you what, ladies, this can be for you, too, because I'm going to tell you what, you can get this thing and take advantage of using that up before somebody creates Womanscaped and starts charging you 3 times as much for the same stuff. Y'all know how this works.
Listen to me, Dead and Lovelies. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. What's in there? You get the Lawnmower 3.0 for lawn mowing your nards area. It's skin safe. I used it. No tugs, no nicks. I enjoyed it. You can even create a little less mess by using that thing in the shower or getting one of those Magic Mat disposable shaving mats they got. Catch all that hair as it drops. And let's not forget about the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant. Do what? And moisturizer. This is amazing. You're putting deodorant on your armpits. Get some deodorant for your balls. What else are you going to get in that Perfect Package 3.0? Some anti-chafing performance boxer briefs. I don't know how they've done it. It's time to get this Perfect Package 3.0. Get clean like Mean Gene's bald head. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DEAD20. That's DEAD20 at manscaped.com.
So this holiday season, be sure to trim the tree and trim up your balls with Manscaped.
Your balls will thank you.
And so will the people that love your balls. Now, Steve, the subject of our show, the thing that brings us together today.
Marriage?
Marriage. And a little movie called Tammy and the T-Rex, or as it may be known, depending on what edition you're watching, Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be that.
You want that one. If your title screen doesn't say Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex, you're watching the theatrical one, which has a lot of the gore and stuff cut out.
Yeah, it's cut to be family, in quotes, comedy, because the sex stuff is still in there.
Oh, okay. But God forbid the violence be in there.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that basically this movie was made as a sort of horror comedy, and then the executive producer saw it and he was like, "What the fuck? I wanted a Disney movie." So they cut it to be a family comedy and released it on VHS, and it kind of got forgotten until it got dug up by horror nerds, because there was a horror comedy version that was released in Italy. It got rediscovered by horror nerds and started being shown at, places where they show things like The Room and whatnot. And then Vinegar Syndrome put together a good edit of the original version and released it just last year. Yeah. So that's why it's now streaming on Shudder and some other places as, Tammy and the T-Rex with the Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex title screen.
Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome is like making a huge name for themselves, keeping a lot of like old-ass, unknown exploitation flicks and horror flicks. Just anything kind of like cheap and grimy.
Yeah.
They keep it alive. Yeah,
this is right in line with like 70s and 80s exploitation flicks for sure. This movie, Ben, I mean, it's directed by the director of Mac and Me, which...
Great start to any movie. There's another one that's so bad. Is it bad or good? Probably great.
That one is insane. Like, oh gosh. We'll never talk about it on the show, hopefully, but... That movie's ridiculous. He also directed Ice Pirates, also ridiculous.
I don't know that one.
As well as Mannequin 2 on the Move, also.
That sounds great.
Ridiculous.
But didn't he also do the Philadelphia Experiment? Like some pretty respected shit too, right?
I mean, the Philadelphia Experiment is, I wouldn't say highly respected.
More than the rest of his stuff.
But more than the rest of his stuff. Yeah, it's his but he also he wrote Passenger 57. So that's probably his most well-known work his name is attached to. But his directing style is basically efficient. They come to him when they need to get something done or salvage something. With Ice Pirates, they needed to salvage it because they weren't going to be able to do all the things they planned. So they came to him and he said, "Can I make it a comedy?" And they were like, "Okay." And he turned it into a comedy and made it work.
He's like the Wolf of movies. Like, they call him and he shows up in 15 minutes in his Acura and gets shit done, I guess.
Exactly. So this happened basically. So a German film distributor based in South America.
Okay, that's a bad start. German based in South America. Like, we all know where that began, y'all.
Yes, we do. And so Stuart Raffle was approached by this guy. The guy says, "I have this 8-foot animatronic dinosaur, and it was coming to LA to be held for a few weeks before going to Texas. So he had it in this, storage facility for 3 weeks." Or for 2 weeks coming up, and this is 3 weeks ahead of that time. He comes to Stuart Raffle, says, "Hey, you want to make a movie with this dinosaur?" So Stuart Raffle has 3 weeks to come up with an idea of what to do with an animatronic dinosaur, and then 2 weeks to shoot that.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what. Based on what you just told me, I think I'm just
genius.
This is genius, and it's also forced me to be like, I need to reevaluate my life to where I put out such an image and such a vibe that whenever somebody that I know happens to end up in the possession of a mechanical T-Rex for 2 or 3 weeks, the first thing they think of is, I need to call Ben about this. See if he wants
Ben
to use
can
it.
do something with this.
Like, what the fuck kind of guy is this that it just made it click in this dude's brain that's like, I think Stuart knows what to do with this thing. Let me give him a call. Maybe he'll make a movie with, like, what the fuck? Who is this guy?
I know. Here's the thing, man. Investigating this dude. All right. So, Stuart Raffle, the guy, he's British. He used to train animals, big cats.
Okay, there's some of those in this movie. Good.
Mm-hmm. He worked on notoriously dangerous movie Roar, made by Tippi Hedren and her husband, I think.
I don't know this one.
Well, they owned big cats, and the movie was basically trying to use those big cats in a movie, and almost everybody on set got attacked by a big cat at some point.
So they really knew what they were doing, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. So what I'm telling you is the thing, anybody who's seen Tiger King, what you know is that big cat people are all crazy.
That's a thing.
And he's a big cat person.
So the director of this is a big cat person.
Yeah. And
this is all making so much sense. Dude, if you told me he also paints cars on the side, I would be like, this is absolutely the fucking guy I think he is. Car painting people, I'm telling you,
crazy.
They're a breed of their own.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
So here's another thing you know, if you've seen Tiger King. All of the people who were big cat people in the 80s were also cocaine people.
Yeah, there's kind of a connection there, it seems.
Yeah. So I don't know why he has friends in South America that immediately think of him when they have access to an 8-foot animatronic dinosaur, but I'm going to bet cocaine is somewhere in the mix.
I'm going to say, like, with whatever question it is you come up with for this movie, like, now why did they do it this way? I'm going to say probably some cocaine in the mix. I'm going to say it's an educated guess, or definitely some real dank weed. There's some definitely pot brain going on.
Weed is involved. In fact, Stuart Raffle says that in an interview that he had with the Bristol Bad Film Club. That basically he had a very short amount of time to figure out what to do with this, and just smoked a whole lot of weed and came up with ideas. So this movie, if you're watching it and you're super stoned and you're like, I bet this guy was super stoned when he came up with that. He was.
Yeah, you're right.
He definitely was.
Y'all have something in common.
Yep, for sure.
I'll tell you what, though, man. Honestly, just the fact that this guy was able just to take, I'm sure just a random phone call of a guy being like, hey, I got this if you want to make a movie with it. And then the guy takes, a week to write the whole thing? And then 2 weeks to fucking shoot. Like, he put together this whole movie.
Well, no, he had 3 weeks.
Nuts.
So
3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah,
so
no problem.
He had time to write, cast, and do a little bit of location scouting, because he shot everything within 25 minutes of his house.
Well, you don't want to make a long drive to get to work or anything.
So like, I guess on an afternoon he just drove around his neighborhood and was like, yeah, we'll shoot there, and there. Like,
dude, I'm telling you,
it's crazy it came together.
I know that it's like a stupid movie full of really stupid things. I get it.
Yeah.
But man, it's taken me longer than that to plan like a friend's get-together dinner.
For sure.
For real. It's taken me longer to do that. And this guy wrote and made a movie in that time period, and it's competent.
It's not only competent, it's legit funny. Like, it's a funny movie that has good performances in it, which is crazy.
And the thing about it is when you're on the time crunch that they were to make this, and also all the budgetary limits and stuff like that, comedy is kind of the route you can go.
Yeah,
to justify anything you're seeing on screen.
It's the best way to do it. You try to make a serious horror movie about an 8-foot animatronic T-Rex, it's gonna come off as comedy anyway.
Yeah.
So embrace the comedy, and it explains all the ridiculous shit that's happening. Well, it's a comedy.
Totally. Well, because the thing is like, whenever this guy said he's got this animatronic T-Rex, I'm sure that at some point in dude's mind he was like, okay, I could make a serious movie about a killer dinosaur or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, well, but, you know, it's an animatronic dinosaur. It doesn't exactly have the greatest mobility or anything like that. It's going to look fake as shit. People are just going to be watching this going, well, it's animatronic. And then he's like, well, what if I just make that the point?
Yeah,
how can I work
it
around
is
from that?
animatronic. We'll say it's animatronic. That explains why it moves the way it moves.
Dude, the crazy thing about it is, and again, maybe this is me just giving this movie way too much credit, there's a certain genius there at starting at the limitation. Like, most of the time, whenever people are given a concept, they go with whatever their concept is, look at the limitation, and work around it. Whereas this guy was like, oh, so I have a dinosaur, but it's going to look dumb. Where can I go from there? Like, he started with the bad thing and made it work. Like, that's genius.
Yeah. And I think, again, that just comes down to having a time crunch. And it's like, well, this isn't going to be genius. This isn't going to be the best movie anyone's ever made. So why try to make that? Just make it funny and embrace the ridiculousness and get some solid actors in to make it funny.
Now, let me ask you, Steve, because this movie is one of those ones that I was honestly predicting that you wouldn't like. I mean, considering that...
I was, too.
I was over the moon for The Wraith, and as you said, you were kind of like lukewarm about it. At what point did this movie, and kind of funny I'm using this, grab you by the balls?
Yeah, it was the dick fight. It was the dick grab fight. Once they started grabbing each other's dicks in a fight, I was like, wait a second. Hold on. And then Buck Flower showed up, and I was like, okay, all right.
And on the sidelines of this ball grab schoolyard fight that we're having, you've got those chicks that are just losing their minds.
Absolutely. Just like, it's like they're at a UFC fight, and they want blood. They're just like, do it, kill him, Billy. Yeah.
And then we've also got our man Byron, who we're going to talk a lot about.
Byron's the best.
Dude,
Byron's the best character in the whole thing. Yeah.
Grab that other dude's dick, and he's like, oh, good move.
Yeah.
Like, it's so stupid.
What a stupid.
It's so funny, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Byron is probably the strongest character. I mean, our main two are Denise Richards, who plays Tammy/Tanny, which don't know why they ever thought Tanny in the first place. Is that a name?
Dude, and nobody in the movie calls her Tanny. Like, I don't know why they did this.
They definitely did call her Tanny at some point, because I noticed ADR moments where it was like, oh, yeah, he must have said Tanny there, and they replaced it with Tammy. But, yeah, I don't know why they ever went with that. And then Paul Walker, who plays Michael, who ends up dying and then has his brain connected to an animatronic T-Rex.
Even when you say it out loud, you're like, oh, man.
And then, of course, Byron, who, is amazing, played by Theo Forsett, who I think must be CeeLo's, fashion idol.
Must be, clearly. Yeah, now that you mention it, I'm seeing the similarities, and I'm like, yep. Yeah, there's one more scene in this movie where Byron is just going to paint himself gold and just go to town, for sure, man.
Yeah, Byron he's probably the funniest character, though. Denise Richards, watching this, I realized Denise Richards is legit funny.
Dude,
she is funny, and she's doing a good job in this.
For real. The first time that I watched it, I was kind of like, does she think she's in a real movie, or does she know she's in shit? And she's, ditzy, the way that we all probably think of her, because we don't fucking know her. We just know her roles in movies and stuff. I was kind of wondering about that myself, where I was like, does she know what movie she's in? And then the second time you watch it, you're like,
she knows what movie she's in. She's playing it so straight because she knows it's that funny. It's funny that she is dramatically talking to an animatronic dinosaur.
Oh my God, man. And even those scenes towards the end where she and Byron are in the car together riding, and he's like, hold on to your boobs, girl, it's gonna get bumpy.
She does. She grabs her boobs.
It's so stupid.
It's
so funny,
stupid.
man.
Yeah.
Oh God, dude. Yeah, the cast in this is crazy. I really wish that I could talk to some of the people that worked on this movie and be like, just tell me everything that was going on the set. Did you have fun? Was it as stupid as I think it's supposed to be?
Yeah, I think it seems like everybody was having a good time, for sure, because this is just, Like, the movie stays light and playful the whole time. Even though Tammy is dating what looks like a man in his 30s. They're in high school.
Yeah.
He's wearing dog tags either as a fashion accessory or because he served in the Gulf War. And he definitely has a prison record and a restraining order against him by the school.
Yeah. Also has a habit
of
invading Tammy's family's house with his gang. Her parents just kind of stand by the door and just let this like gang run rampant through the house.
The mom is on the phone with the cops and she says, "It's a gangbang."
Dude, one of my favorite moments with the parents in this, that was just such a funny, subtle bit of editing in this. I didn't notice it the first time, but the second time I caught it, and it cracked me the fuck up. Whenever Paul Walker comes over and sneaks into Denise Richards' room, like they just start fooling around on her bed and stuff. It cuts to the dad sipping hot tea out of a teacup, and he goes, "Ooh, that's hot." It's so dumb, man.
It's so dumb, yeah. Yeah, there's
fantastic.
just a lot of dumb jokes that go over real well. Like, the movie has enough charm to win you over. I mean, if it doesn't win you over, if you're listening to this and you're expecting us to eviscerate it, like, I'm sorry.
Not happening.
This movie won me over. I think, like, yeah, you can see shadows of the cameraman in shots. You can see the boom mic. You can see the blood tubes hanging down.
Lines,
hanging down from the behind the dinosaur when it stomps on the guy and blood shoots everywhere.
Obvious, like mannequins, like whenever Paul Walker's sitting there with his head top off and stuff. Super obvious, not even close to lifelike.
Terrible out of focus shots all over the place. Out of focus shots. Just they got one shot and they were like, "Fuck it, move on.
Fuck it, it's fine, whatever." They looked at the print and they're like, it doesn't really matter. Let's go with it.
Yeah. So you have legitimate gripes about this movie. I get that. That's fine. If you're listening and you hated this movie, I get that. I think it's great. I think it like it does. You don't even need the context. You don't even need to know that it was made in such a short time. You don't even need to know like the reasoning behind it, because the absurdity of it while you're watching it, and the fact that it seems to know it's absurd but like pushes on despite it, it's just charming. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, this movie knows what it is.
Yeah, it's never overreaching or trying to be something that it's not. I mean, it knows how ridiculous the whole premise is, and it just goes with it, and that's what really wins you over. Yeah.
And we also have Terry Kaiser in here, who plays the doctor, Dr. Gunther Wackenstein.
Dude, that
Terry
guy,
Kaiser.
His passion for that T-Rex. During that scene where he's just introduced to the T-Rex in the warehouse, and he's like, "I will give you eternal life," and he's having like total Frankenstein moments. Dude, he is hilarious in this movie. That scene where he and Helga sneak into the hospital and like she disconnects Paul Walker's like life support machine or whatever, so he flatlines. He's banging on his chest. He's like, live. And then he's like, that's about all I can do. He's like, that's it. He's gone.
When they walk into that scene and they ask where the doctor is, the nurse says Section C, and he goes, "Oh, Section C, that's a good number." It's like, just there's so many like tiny lines where it's like he's so ridiculous and goofy. If you don't know who he is, you may know him from Friday the 13th Part 7. He plays the psychiatrist guy.
Oh, okay.
Or you may really know him from Weekend at Bernie's as Bernie.
Wait, what? That's Bernie?
Yeah. Terry Kaiser is Bernie.
Holy shit, I did not know that.
He's got 156 total credits. You've seen him in something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He's a busy man.
He is. And like you can tell that like he doesn't care. Like, he's getting a paycheck. He does not care. He's going to go and be funny as fuck. He doesn't care that it's a movie about an animatronic dinosaur. He's going to go in and just do it and be hilarious. And he does.
And he fucking does it. And he does it alongside his super smoking hot cohort,
Ellen
Helga.
Or Dubbin. Yeah,
dude,
she's great.
She's amazing. And what is with her the whole movie? Like, She licks blood off of her fingers like 100 times. She
she's
kisses
like a monster.
multiple corpses.
Yeah. She's like just she's like his Igor. But
yeah,
like,
totally.
It's like the exact opposite. Instead of like, hunched over man, it's this tall, gorgeous woman. I love the way that they're playing on the Frankenstein thing. They also have like, you may have recognized her from Napoleon Dynamite as one of Rico's customers when he's selling Tupperware.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, you may have also recognized somebody else from Napoleon Dynamite in here. Efren Ramirez.
Fucking Pedro,
the pizza boy.
dude.
Pedro. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I didn't realize it until after I watched the movie, because he's just in there for a second to deliver that pizza. Also, the fact that he goes in there, looks at the T-Rex and asks, did you order pepperoni extra cheese? Like he's thinking maybe this dinosaur ordered this pizza.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
so
it was
fucking stupid.
Like he was a little bit scared, but also he does have to deliver the pizza.
He's on the job. He's got a job to do. Somebody ordered this pizza. Maybe it was this T-Rex. Fuck, man. I didn't realize that was him, but it's so funny because like knowing that two of the people that were in this went on to be in Napoleon Dynamite, it's like, okay,
that
everybody got the vibe of the humor here then.
Yeah, they did. At the very least, Jared and Jerusha Hess got what was going on with, I'm assuming they only saw the family cut, which I should have watched because I think that's so surreal to imagine any version of this that somebody would show to a child.
I know. It has to be hacked to bits and not make any fucking sense.
No sense whatsoever. Yeah. So, I can though see how this could probably have inspired Napoleon Dynamite a little bit.
I feel like the humor of this movie was inspired, though, by some other things that were around at this time and before then, because making this kind of like shitty, cheesy, gory, somewhat exploitive movie in this time period, you're bound to get comparisons to Trauma. It's Trauma-ish, but it never goes totally down the like super sexist and also racist avenues that a lot of those movies go down.
I mean, the one thing we can mainly like say doesn't hold up are the gay jokes.
Yeah, there's some of those, but you can also kind of skirt around and be like, well, they're all made by idiots. Like they're all made by like the dumbass police officers, and like,
and Byron is constantly shown as like smart, a hero, like he knows himself, like he is in no way ashamed of himself.
Either.
Right. So I think that the gay jokes maybe they like knowing their intention was probably to get a cheap laugh. It's like, well, that sucks. But also knowing that the gay character is shown as like stronger than that, like above that, it's pretty cool. I mean,
I think so. I mean, it's aged better than a lot of stuff from that time period.
Definitely.
It's kind of got a Mel Brooks vibe about it too in a lot of the parts.
Yeah,
I think
from
a lot
time
of the
to
humor
time
in here is very Mel Brooksy.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I'll tell you this, man. Watching this movie and thinking about its humor influences and the tone of the comedy in this, the thing that I just kept thinking about is this, and it really all started with Byron. Can we please crowdfund enough money, everybody chip in $1, and see if we cannot convince the entire cast and crew of The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt to remake this movie? Think about it for 5 seconds and tell me it wouldn't be
Titus's
fucking bet. Obviously, dude, it would be incredible. And you'd have to have John Hamm in there as the doctor.
Obviously.
Just get everybody in here. Kimmy as Tammy, obviously.
Yeah.
It'd be
Gretchen
Kimmy and the
could be
Teenage
Helga.
T-Rex. Dude, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm down
work.
with it. That would work. Yeah, I could see it.
It would just make a little bit too much sense to me.
Yeah, it might be it. That might be it. It makes too much sense for anyone to invest in it. But if you've got money that you want to turn into like half of what it is currently, we could make this movie nobody would watch.
Make this happen, man. Dude, Byron is damn near Titus. Like Titus is who Byron grew up to become, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yeah. I think the Byron character is really strong. It's obviously Theo Forsett, the actor, like brought a lot to it. I do question like why they continually make the girl jokes about him, but the character never goes against that. So I'm thinking, is the character meant to be trans? Because he does say, you know, when they're looking through the corpses to try to find a corpse to put the brain into, he, you know, says he'd like a set of those boobs.
Yeah, he's like, I could use those.
Yeah, so is he supposed to be trans, or is this, again, just lazy gay jokes? Like,
I don't know, yeah, because that's one of those things that I remember all the time.
yes.
You know, as a kid growing up in the 80s and early 90s, it was just a common thing if you wanted to put down a dude to be like, what are you, girl? Huh?
Right. Yeah, so I think it's probably just lazy gay jokes that the actor, like, was able to never let the character down, I think. Like, the actor did not allow the gay jokes to make the character weaker, which is great. I'm glad he did that, but I think the script should have been improved. But again, we're talking about the 90s, and the height of humor was, what if a man liked another man?
Be crazy, right? How
Yeah.
could that happen, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, beyond that, most of the humor is still holds up, because its absurdity is what it is relying on more than punching down or anything of that sort. So
I think so, man, dude. And I'll tell you, the scenes in this movie that consistently got the most laughs out of me are any time that T-Rex is using his goddamn hands. Those T-Rex arms on screen delighted me to no end. Like, holy shit, it's so fucking funny. Because you see the T-Rex the whole movie. T-Rexes have the tiniest little arms. They can't use them for anything. And then he's shown reaching large distances and operating his hands in very skillful ways.
yeah, when he picks up the payphone, that's probably one of the funniest.
And he dials it real carefully, and then, dude,
yeah,
he picks it up to try to call Tammy. Just roars, yeah, because he doesn't have a voice.
Yeah,
and then after he makes the call, he checks the change slot.
yeah, just in case there's a quarter. Where was he gonna put it?
What was he gonna do with it?
Yeah,
and the thing that kills me about that too. Okay, he tried to make the call so he could call Tammy. Didn't realize he was a T-Rex, I guess. He doesn't realize he's a T-Rex until he's in the warehouse, looks at the corpse of Paul Walker, and grabs a hand mirror and looks at himself in the hand mirror and figures out at that point, oh, I'm a T-Rex.
I'm a T-Rex. I see. Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean, we haven't mentioned, but John Franklin is in this from Children of the Corn, and also from Addams Family, played Cousin Ned. He's the, I guess, scientist assistant computer
nerd.
tech.
Yeah, he's constantly, the whole movie, his whole thing is like, there's no way this will be better than my computer. Which is like, I think the most early 90s nerd thing you could possibly say. My computer is going to be better than this.
Right, that's what they were going for, was just like, nerd, he loves his computer. He does a good job, though, with this stupid little role, especially when it's just him and the bodybuilder guy. They're funny, like, mismatched pair together.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, he's our first, I guess, first dinosaur victim, because the first victim was Paul Walker getting killed by big cats. But
okay, yeah.
he's the one who gets killed by the dinosaur first, who decapitates him, bites his head off. Just awesome first death.
Well, here's the thing, though. On the subject of Paul Walker, he didn't get killed at the Big Cat Sanctuary where he was taken and dropped off. He got put into a coma.
Yes, by a lion attacking him. He just fell
shows
into
the
a
lion
coma.
maul him. Like, it is mauling him when that park ranger shows up, and then they're like, no damage to the brain or spinal column, but he's in a coma. It's like, from what? Did he, like, hit his head on a rock when he fell? Maybe he's, you know what it is? I bet he's in anaphylactic shock. He's allergic to cats.
Anaphylactic shock.
Anaphylactic, yes, there you go. Yeah, he's allergic to cats severely.
The cat got too close, and he was like, oh no, my allergies.
Yeah, thusly he's in a coma.
Yeah. Yeah, I love, like, just, because, like, you know that somebody may have pointed out, like, wait, why would he be in a coma? But, like, the answer would just be like, who cares?
Yeah, because he needs to be.
He needs to be. We need this hospital scene. And guess what? The hospital scene is hilarious. Like, Tammy and Byron come running in. I guess they stopped at Blossom's house.
Oh my God, dude.
On the
Their
way.
outfits. Her outfit at the funeral, too. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And then, like, Billy comes in and slaps her. And, like, in any normal movie, that slap would be like, I can't believe you've done this. No. Instead, she's like, dude, what? Fucking karate chops the motherfucker and then kicks him in the chest or whatever.
She kicks him in the balls.
Kicks him in the balls. Like, it's just like, and Byron's just immediately like, I'll scratch your fucking eyes out. Like, it is not what you expect. And then, like, goes beyond that to absurdity when the doctor shows up, as you said, and just, like, plays like he's trying to revive him, and it's ridiculous.
Amazing. God. And that's the thing about this movie, dude, is like, I feel like there was so many points in here. There had to be somebody on set being like, we can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. But how? Yeah. But why? And the director was just like, it's fine, just go with it. And he was
don't
right.
worry about it.
He was absolutely right.
Yeah. He was. And it's not like, I mean, I think this is just a confluence of luck in some ways, but also, like, knowing the right way to approach it, knowing the right way to go about it without taking it too seriously, knowing, like, nobody expects anything of this. You know, the idea of it even happening didn't exist a month before you started shooting.
Yeah, it's fine. Go with it.
It's fine. Go with it. Whatever comes out of this, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we make some money. Maybe we don't. We all got a paycheck to be here. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Like, and it turns out good.
Worked out just fine, man. Because the thing is like, you know, at bare minimum, again, somebody on set had to be there being like, okay, so we're going to shoot the scene where they're going to put the boy's brain into the T-Rex. Why? Like, why does the doctor want to put this guy's brain into a T-Rex body? Like, why is this his obsession? Because it's never really made
talks about
super clear until, he's like, oh, immortality, we won't have to die anymore or whatever. And then even at that point, you're like, okay, but why an animatronic T-Rex? Like, if you would have built like a robot man, and he's like, I want to put a consciousness into this Tin Man.
That would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Who are you going to sell this to? I can put you into the brain of a T-Rex. Like,
it's like,
all right.
Your illness is terminal. You're either going to die, or we can put your consciousness into an animatronic T-Rex. I would totally do that.
Yeah, I mean, that I could see the selling point there for sure. I mean, this is following Jurassic Park, so
dude, that's the thing.
T-Rex is pretty popular
about this movie that's so unbelievable. It feels way earlier 90s than it really is. Like, this doesn't feel
it feels like 80s.
It feels 80s. It feels late 80s to me, man. Maybe 90 at the latest. Like, if you just told me to date this movie, I'd be like, I don't know, 90, maybe 91. But Jurassic Park came out before this.
Uh-huh.
And that makes it even funnier to me, dude. The fact that, like, the same year you could have seen Jurassic Park, where, you know, we saw dinosaurs imagined on screen in ways that we never even had dreamed of at that point. I mean, them using CGI for these dinosaurs was, like, revolutionary shit, and they did so much to hide the fact that it's fake dinosaurs. I mean, again, the CGI, all the incredible puppetry work and stuff in there. Check out our review episode on that, by the way. It's a really, really great episode. But in this movie, which you could have seen in the same year, they're not even trying to hide the fact that it's fake and shitty. And dude, the scenes where it shows the T-Rex walking and it's like superimposed on the screen are the actual worst. It looks like, dude, there's stuff you can do on phone apps that looks 15 times better than that.
Absolutely. It looks really bad.
I think that makes the movie
That's why they only do it
funnier.
a couple times, right?
Yeah. But, like, I think the fact that Jurassic Park came out the same year as this makes it even funnier. Is that, like, even just the concept that somebody would have the fucking gall to make such a shit-ass looking dinosaur movie in the same year as the most revolutionary, gigantic dinosaur movie ever, you're going to respond to that volley with this? The nerve of that makes it fucking funnier to me, man.
It does. It's so much funnier because of that. I think that like this exists in a time where movies don't look like this at all. So again, like as we've said, the embracing of the comedy, the embracing of the absurdity, that's the only way you could have done this movie. Otherwise people would be talking about it as, can you believe that Paul Walker was in that piece of shit? Instead of, can you believe Paul Walker was in that piece of shit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that T-Rex a little bit more here, because that's obviously the main feature of this movie. Just how real is the T-Rex? Because it seems to be a machine when it needs to be.
Yes.
And other times they treat it like it's an actual flesh and blood animal.
Right, because like he says he's gonna tranquilize it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, wait, did you say it's a machine? He's like, oh, it's got crystalline cellular structures.
Very new.
Yeah.
I think you could put America back on top. Don't worry about it. Like,
but then he pulls out like a gigantic gun.
Yeah. It's totally the reaction of you watching the movie when they're like, we're going to tranquilize it. You're sitting there going, it's a robot. Then Byron's like, but it's a robot. Like, every now and then people in this movie have like moments of
questions
clarity
about the movie.
Yeah, they have questions about the movie. And the fact that the movie itself addresses them makes it better.
It does. It makes it so much better. It's so much funnier.
Dude,
like,
I'll tell you this. I don't think whenever they built that animatronic T-Rex, I don't think they put tear ducts in it, but it sure does cry at that funeral.
It sure does cry.
It shows
after
it
hearing the
times.
uncle's
the drunk
eulogy.
Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
You guys know me. I'm just an old drunk.
Everybody shakes their head. Yeah, he is. What? It even shows the T-Rex nodding.
Yeah, he's
yes,
like, yeah.
He is just an old drunk.
P.S. The T-Rex, which is hiding, nobody is seeing this thing. Even though it's just standing barely behind a tree.
Yeah, like 20 feet away behind a tree, sort of. Yeah.
The way this thing is so stealthy fucking cracks me up. It just hides from everybody somehow. God, it's so stupid. But yeah, it's like it's real when it needs to be. Like it sleeps and stuff.
Oh yeah, it does. It seems to get some sleep in that barn with Denise Richards, where they may fuck.
I get the impression that they had sex, which again, animatronic dinosaur. I guess it has a working dick. Like.
I guess so.
Who built this thing?
Unless, I mean, maybe it's just like our infantile understanding of sex can't comprehend what they did in that barn.
That's true. She might have just scissored that tail like the Dickens, and that counts.
Or, maybe some S&M type of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe she was whipping the shit out of that animatronic dinosaur. Who knows?
It could be that. I mean, we don't know. We didn't see that cut of the movie, so.
Now, we need to talk about... So, all right. Michael's brain is not in the animatronic dinosaur. It is controlling the animatronic dinosaur from afar.
Okay, I was never sure about that because it shows us the brain in the bowl... And then, like, the doctor says, I think he says, we'll implant it tomorrow, but it never shows us that.
Yeah, because they leave, and then that's when he escapes.
Yeah.
So his brain is telepathically controlling the dinosaur?
I don't know, because it also never shows them, like, remove it from his skull to end up in that salad bowl at the end of the movie either, so... I don't know, actually.
This movie, just mentioning parts of this movie makes me laugh.
It makes me feel like I'm like, are we on drugs? Are we drugs right now? And it's like,
we
no,
might be drugs.
We're talking about the movie that we watched. Yeah, I don't know about the brain thing. I'm not really sure about that, honestly, but it's also made clear that I guess Tammy is trying to find him a viable donor even towards the end of the movie.
Yes. Yeah, she comes in and says, they found those lost skiers' frozen bodies. I'm going to go check it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I swear, I could not put it together. I was like, are they solving crimes now? It wasn't until I mentioned it to you. You said like, oh no, so he can have a body. And I was like, oh, right. Because like, to me, it was logical that it might end with them solving crimes now.
I would love that. Like, if that was a spin-off movie or series, I would absolutely watch the shit out of that.
Tammy and the T-Rex, starring someone who looks nothing like Denise Richards and someone who looks nothing like Paul Walker.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'll totally get into it.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But then the thing about it is, too, is even there at the end of the movie with all that shit that's going on, it's like, okay, so also, I guess apparently Tammy is like a fucking genius to figure out on her own how to wire up this disconnected brain in a salad bowl up to a camera so it can see stuff and speakers so it can talk.
Yeah.
And we'll also know how to re-implant it into a new host body as well. It's just like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, who cares?
And she also just pours whiskey on it.
I wish I could do that some days. I wish I could pour
straight on the brain.
The whiskey
to the brain.
directly onto the brain. I wish I could do that sometimes.
Oh boy, that sounds like it would burn.
Yeah.
I don't think I want that.
That's what you think now, Steve.
That's true. Because he seemed to be way into it.
Yeah, especially after she does a sexy dance and blows him up.
So that dance.
She danced real bad. The movie opens with her dancing and closes with her dancing, and she's really bad.
Yeah. So apparently, you know, she's a Midwest girl. She was pretty shy and stuff, and apparently she didn't know like what to do for the dance scene to be sexy. So that's why it's so awkward and weird.
Well, Denise Richards, we all know she probably has a hard time figuring out how to be sexy. Probably a problem she's dealt with her whole life. How am I sexy? I don't know.
How do I do this? And everybody's like, no, you got it. You got it.
You're doing it right now. I'm not doing anything.
It's happening. Yeah.
Oh, man, dude. Yeah, God, the ending of this movie is absolutely stupid. They machine gun the dinosaur down, and I guess that works.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know.
Is my question.
The cops in this are trigger happy as fuck, too, by the way.
Yes, they are, yeah.
Even whenever they're like cleaning up after that party and they like flip over the bar where the bartender guy.
And they've all got their guns drawn.
They're just itching to fucking blow some people away. And then that one cop is like, they're in shock. You're going to have to slap it out of them. You want me to slap it around?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous shit, man.
Yeah, they're just terrible, terrible cops. Let's talk for a second about that bartender, aka Caveman Ken.
Oh yeah.
Not a good actor, for sure, but he does have the backstory of being Caveman Ken, and it seems to be he might be into both that cute redhead and Byron.
I got that impression. I was wondering if that was just me.
Yeah, I think he was at the very least flirting with both of them, it seemed.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting character, Caveman Ken.
Yeah.
But a bad actor.
Oh, very bad.
At the very least, maybe not a bad actor in general, but in this, he maybe got one shot at it and was like, I want to try that again. And they were like, well, that's not happening.
Too late. By that point, he'd already served up Byron his drink for Tammy, which is a kamikaze with a vodka chaser. It's like a potent vodka drink with vodka to wash it down. Like, there's so many little things like that in this movie that are so subtle and stupid, and they go by fast until you think about it, and you're like, vodka's not a chaser for another cocktail.
That's not how that happened.
So stupid.
Yeah, it's just full of dumb little lines and silly little absurd things that, you know, like when the dinosaur picks up Byron and dusts off his shoulder.
That's my favorite. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
He's so respectable. He picks him up, he dusts off his and he kind of pats him on the shoulders a little bit like, you're a good young man.
I like you. Yeah, it's it is an interesting dynamic too, because again, like, we are being presented with a gay character, and when I think about gay characters we've seen in the 90s, they're often like very much over the top, and also like the main characters don't necessarily have to like them.
Well, especially
this
like
movie,
Paul
the main
Walker,
character-
who's on the football team and like seems to be a star athlete and shit like this. Like usually that's the guy that would be picking on the gay kid, especially the gay black kid in school.
Exactly, but instead he seems to actually like him. He's just immediately like, yeah, we all know Byron, and they're just friendly. And then like, you know, yeah, when he's a dinosaur, he's like, I'll pick you up. You're a good guy. Like, it's an interesting relationship to see them put the traditionally like dickhead athlete into this just nice guy role. But then you of course have the other end of that spectrum, which is Billy. And Billy and his gang suck.
The thing he wants to know, though, is he's good, right? He's good, right? He's good, right?
Man, that's so funny.
That's
so funny.
He's just screaming in her face, I'm good, right?
I'm good, right?
And she's
I'm
screaming
good, right?
bloody murder. There's a T-Rex above her. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, Weasel, too. Let's talk about him, man.
Yeah, Sean Whalen, Weasel, who's but People Under the Stairs. He's the guy with his tongue cut off.
Yeah,
he's in a ton of stuff though. Sean Whalen,
That Thing
very
You Do is what I know him
right?
from. He's the super fan of the Oneaters.
That's right. He's super recognizable. Billy and Weasel. Like, my assumption is Billy's like 30 something, right?
Surely.
Like, they're not trying to hide that. They're like, they're trying to be like, this is a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Weasel's just kind of his enabling friend. But the thing is that this gang seems like just sort of happy and light and fun, and they've got their their groupies, the blonde girl and the brunette with the curly hair. Just seem like they're all fun and games, but they take a guy out to a cat sanctuary to get mauled to death. Like, there's just such a huge like tonal difference between what they do and the way they're portrayed that it's like, I mean, it makes it so funny when they do get their comeuppance, like, and all of them get it early in the movie. That's not even like the goal of the movie. It's not a revenge movie. It's he gets his revenge, and now it's let's figure out how to have a relationship with Tammy. Like,
that's the thing about him and his revenge and stuff too in the movie that cracks me up is like at the end of the day, even though he is in this T-Rex body, he is conscious of what he's doing. And he murders like 1 million people in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
just straight up
murders them. It's like, at the end of the day, Tammy is going out with a 17-year-old serial killer.
Yeah. I mean, he's justified in the people he kills mostly, right?
I mean,
Does he kill
there's all
anybody
kinds of
that doesn't
collateral
deserve
damage.
it?
There's those people that get like trampled during the party. He squashes that car. I don't think those guys that were under the car did anything.
No, they were part of the gang.
They were in the gang? Okay.
Yeah. I think the only people
fuck
that
them.
get
they deserve
killed,
to die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the only people he kills are the ones that supposedly would deserve to die because they've wronged him.
Okay.
But, like, I guess the people who wrong him the most are the doctor and Helga. And the doctor gets it, but then Helga just gets away. She's even crying at the end when the dinosaur dies.
Okay,
and it's
here's
like,
the thing.
Wait, why is she crying?
Yeah, she's at the funeral and shit. It's so stupid, man. So Helga at the end of this movie, let's talk about that for a second, because I was expecting her to get like destroyed too, so she was also such a big part of this. Instead, the T-Rex like bites the doctor and kills him, spits his remains all over Helga, and then
and she runs away.
And the shot that they used is of her running away and her skirt riding up.
Her skirt riding up, yeah.
That's her big exit of the movie. Like,
yeah,
why?
Well, but she's still there when the dinosaur dies. Like, they're all standing there crying, including the cops who just shot the dinosaur. What?
Why? Oh my god, man.
It's just ridiculous.
Some of the funniest stuff in this too, man, in my opinion, comes from when they're trying to find a new body for Paul Walker's brain. Now, this starts with them being like, how can we get his body back? And they're like, we'll get it after the funeral. And after the funeral, they jump into, Denise Richards jumps into the grave and opens the coffin, which is, of course, filled with a rotten corpse.
Yeah, he rotted real quick.
There's like worms and like rats all over and stuff. And she like can't believe what she's seeing. And it's like, well, it's a corpse. I mean, he's been dead for days.
He's dead, yeah.
Yeah, he would not have decomposed that fast, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But then, dude, like later on, after the doctor and Helga show up to that scene, did you notice how like everybody just keeps falling in the grave? Like,
yes,
everybody gets thrown on top of that coffin for no good fucking reason. Oh my god, man! But then they do the body shopping at the morgue. Yeah,
the body shopping at the morgue is so fucking funny.
Oh my god!
I was wondering. Okay, so they find the one guy who's the first one they show, and they check out his dick. And Byron is impressed, and Tammy is not interested.
She's like, not for me.
And I was trying to like figure out there, like Byron is impressed by it, so I'm assuming it's big, and like she's saying no, it's too big. And then when they take him to the window, Byron says he's short but he's thick.
Yeah.
So what were they getting at with all that? Like,
I don't know.
Like what? I want to know. I got to see this dick and these, like, how these two reactions work together.
I also really love how Byron is like really pushing for like maybe he wants to be a girl. Like, right. Two times he brings up the girl corpse, and they even like bring it and hold it up.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites too, dude. They're showing the T-Rex, the corpses from afar. And they were like, how can we make the T-Rex look
scratching
thoughtful?
Its head and
like puts his little paw on its chin and stuff. Like, I'm really weighing my options here.
Yeah. It's just a funny, because they are just hauling corpses over to a window and holding them up to a dinosaur, an animatronic dinosaur.
Oh my god, man! What about the game of charades that they have to play for her to figure out that it's him when they're in the barn?
Oh my god! Yeah. Like she thinks he wants the brace. Like this animatronic dinosaur is trying to rob her of her bracelet, and then it's like no. Like no, he like gives her the flower that he had in his mouth. That was the flower he tried to give her before. Yeah, like that whole. It's so ridiculous, but that like.
Dude, there's a line where she's talking to him, and what is Paul Walker's character's name?
Michael.
Michael. She's like, "Did you know Michael?" She expects the T-Rex
How
to
did
answer?
she get there?
What?
How did she get there? That scene that was where I really was like, wait, Denise Richards is funny.
Yes.
Because like she's doing it so seriously, and then it cuts to that wide shot of what's going on, of her sitting up on those hay bales talking to an animatronic dinosaur, and it's just like, right. That's what she's seeing. She's seeing an animatronic dinosaur, and she's delivering this like it's like real drama.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
It's so funny. Yeah, she really does bring a lot of humor to this.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed her performance. I thought Paul Walker was good. I think this is one of his first film performances. One of hers as well. Yeah. They're both charming. They do really well. Terry Kaiser and Ellen Dubin, not sure how to say her last name. They're great. Buck Flowers funny. Like it's a solid cast and a bunch of solid performances for what it is.
I think so, man. Now, how do you think that stands up to the soundtrack of this movie? The original soundtrack and the licensed music in this soundtrack.
The licensed music is something.
It's so bad. Oh my god, man!
It's very 90s. There's two songs about dinosaurs sung by the same guy.
Yeah, he sounds like generic like bag cereal Alice Cooper.
Yeah, exactly. Like if Alice Cooper was like, dinosaurs will be my thing instead of all the Alice Cooper stuff.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's Allosaurus Cooper. Huh? Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
The licensed music in this has so many like 90s singers just singing really hard. This was at that time period where it's just like, I don't know, just sing as hard as you can into the mic, no matter what.
No matter
soundtrack
how,
is all of that.
Yeah. And then the early 2000s, it just became, all right, do that, but like you're trying to shit.
Yeah.
Just like you're trying to grunt it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the soundtrack, it's very 90s, I would say.
Unmistakably.
It fits the time period, but yeah, no recognizable music for sure.
Oh, I'm sure they
And
didn't have
then
the budget
also-
for that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. And then also, yeah, it is just like nothing that stands out as particularly good. But then like the original score stuff uses some things you've more traditionally heard connected with horror. That kind of works, but maybe a little over dramatic at times.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it that. Like, I was going to say the original score stuff is actually pretty cool. There's like some orchestral stuff in there, some pretty dramatic sounding parts. A lot of it actually reminds me of one of those main themes from Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's got that da-da-da-dum, that kind of thing, which is really, really similar to what's in Bram Stoker's. And it's cool, but like you said, maybe a little bit over the top, but maybe that's what they were going for. Like, put a really serious soundtrack with this. It'll be stupid.
Yeah, I think they definitely were going for just, the absurdity of that music playing while this animatronic dinosaur is in a barn.
Yeah. I think some of my favorite bits of like gore and special effects in this are like, well, yeah, I love when Paul Walker's getting his head cut open with that like miter saw. That the sound effects and stuff really bring a lot to that moment, where it makes that seem way more gruesome than the really crappy effects that you're seeing on screen at that time.
Yeah. I also like the bodybuilder death.
Yeah.
The squish.
Dude, and then like later it shows him and he's like been flattened, like two-dimensional.
Yeah,
he's like
entirely.
A cartoon.
Yeah, she like rolls him up off of the ground.
Dude, every time it shows the T-Rex like squashing somebody or like stomping on the cars and stuff, it's totally just a guy in like dinosaur leg pants.
Yeah, in a boot. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just a pant leg on a person. That's it.
Yeah. I like Weasel's death a lot too, where he gets like clawed and then he's just like holding all of his own guts.
His guts.
And
Yeah.
just drops
He's
them.
holding them a bit too high though.
Yeah.
Your colon should not be up at your lungs.
Probably not. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it's like he's just wearing like a blood-soaked T-shirt underneath. Like there's no like cavity that everything fell out of. He's just like,
they didn't
I'm
even
holding
cut
these
the
now.
shirt.
Yeah, it looks like the T-Rex just handed him some guts and he held them and dropped them.
And that killed him somehow.
I guess so.
He was like, "Oh no, guts!"
I'm allergic to these too. Bye. A lot of allergy problems in this movie, I guess. Yeah, like the special effects in it are, mainly pretty fucking stupid, but it works. It's totally fine.
It does. It works. Yeah, absolutely works fine for me.
Yeah, this is one of those movies, dude, that I absolutely see myself watching many, many, many more times.
Yeah, this is one definitely you turn on at like a party or something just to like have something really weird on in the background.
Yep, see if anybody notices that you've turned this shit on. Yeah, this is one of those ones that's going to become one of my favorites to like show people, where it's like, hey, have you ever seen this movie? Oh, let's watch it. Like there's movies that are like that where I'm just like, I want to sit down and watch Hot Rod with somebody the first time. I want to sit down and watch Team America with somebody the first time.
Yeah.
And I want to watch this movie with somebody that's never seen it. So I know that I'll definitely watch it again and again, or just have it on in the background whenever I don't know what I want to watch and I just need something done.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This is probably going on.
It's definitely one of those where it's just like, I can't think of anything else. Tammy and the T-Rex.
Just go for it, man. You got any final thoughts and a rating you want to slap on this flick?
I mean, as highly as we talked about it, it's not like the best movie ever made or anything. It's obviously specifically bad, but in such a charming way and in such a way that it's like I can't be mad at it. Like, watching it just makes me laugh. It's definitely something I will watch more and will never regret it, I imagine. Just always be able to turn on this absurd flick and get a laugh out of it.
I think
but it's not like I mean, you know, it's for me, it's definitely better than, say, watching Final Destination. But it's not like an amazing horror movie or anything. So when rating it, you know, I will say I would prefer to watch this movie to, say, the Evil Dead remake.
Okay.
Which is a good, solid movie. So this movie for me is like, it's better than 4.5, which I gave the Evil Dead remake. It's better than that, but it's not on the same level with, say, my middle of the road movie, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which I think is a solid middle of the road flick. So, I'm gonna say this is like a 4.5.
Yeah,
but like it's like a 10 as far as watchability and things like that. But if we're rating it, trying to compare it to other movies we've done, it's like a 4.5. But watchability is off the charts.
Okay.
And hilarity, the humor. If you want to see a good comedy movie, this is a 10.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's not a 10. There are much better comedy movies, but it's up there.
But it's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. I definitely would put it as a higher rating than you just because it makes me happy. You know me, whenever I rate stuff,
no, I get that.
It's often just in terms of like, does this movie make me happy to watch it?
Does it spark joy?
Does it spark joy? Yes, I'm definitely keeping this movie. It's not getting thrown out. I feel like I'm watching a movie that was made by the Lonely Island team that was sent into the past.
I can see that.
That's, again, a delight about this movie is just like seeing a movie from this time period, which I'm already just like, I'm automatically going to like it because it feels late 80s, early 90s as fuck. So, of course, I'm going to love it anyway. But then the fact that it feels like this hidden gem that I've never seen before from this time period that somehow feels like a modern movie making fun of that time period.
Oh yeah,
it
does have that feel to it.
Yeah.
It does feel like, because of the resurgence of popularity of the 90s now, it does kind of feel like a movie being made now to mimic that time.
Yeah, totally, man. So
yeah,
I love stuff like that. I love discovering hidden gems that I've never seen before, and this is definitely one that I'll watch many more times. For me, this is probably like a, man, it's seriously like 7.5. I really like it. It's just fun and stupid. Plus, you know me, I love dinosaurs.
It is.
Come on.
That's true. Hey man, I'm absolutely going to watch this movie a lot more times. So it's the most solid 4 to 4.5 movie there is out there.
There you go.
It's definitely worth a watch.
As the time of recording, it's streaming right now on Showtime.
It's on Showtime?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But wherever it is,
it's also on Shudder.
It's on Shudder. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever copy you find, just make sure it's like the actual cut.
Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure it's that one. If it's like family friendly, it's not the one.
No.
Yeah. Make
and
sure
I can't imagine what that movie is. I really wish I had time to watch it.
Yeah,
because
me too.
I just want to know, like, because what I read about it was that all the sex stuff is still there and the violence is taken out, and it's just like, well, how is that family friendly at all? Is the boner scene still in?
Oh yeah, the huge boner gag. Oh man, it's a delight, man. Now, next week on the show, we're going to take our yearly detour into holiday horror by watching a flick I ain't never seen before. You ever seen this movie?
I ain't never seen it neither.
Ooh, uncharted waters, huh? We're a couple of ice pirates ourselves, are we?
That's us.
Oh.
I don't know anything about ice pirates. Is it about pirates at all?
I have no idea.
How is ice involved?
Nah, not a clue.
Now I want to see ice pirates.
Yeah, maybe we'll just do that instead, I guess.
Maybe we'll do ice pirates, yeah.
Well, how about we dip our toes into some holiday horror and talk about Anna and the Apocalypse. This is one a lot of people have told us to do on the show.
Yes, yep. It's a musical, a zombie musical.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know what to expect.
Me neither.
I'm very interested. It's been recommended. It's also when people have recommended it, some other people have said I hate this. So divisive movie.
Okay.
We'll find out.
I'm not even gonna watch a trailer. I'm just gonna go in blind.
Yeah. I want to just see it as is, because I can see a horror musical about zombies being good.
Yeah, totally.
So hopefully it's that.
Okay, well, we'll find out next week here on Dead and Lovely. You guys be sure to tune in next time after you rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is you are listening to this. If it'll let you rate and review, please do. Helps us out a ton, doesn't cost a dime. But if they want to spend 10 dimes or upwards, where can they do that?
Patreon.com/Dead and Lovely. Head on over there with all your dimes and just hand them out to us. You get, for at the very least, $1, you get access to all of the Patreon exclusive stuff that we put out. And if you give $5, you get to throw something into the smoking bowl to get randomly drawn each month. And we then cover that movie. So head on over there.
That's right. So fuck around, find out about it, see what you think about that old Patreon page, get some good stuff. Also, be sure to join up the Facebook and Discord groups.
Yeah, on Friday nights, we have the Screamin' Chat where we watch a movie that is fun to laugh about. Whether that movie be good or bad, whatever. The point of Friday night is to laugh and drink. And that's what we do on Discord. I post the Discord link every Friday, so just head over to any of our social media accounts, get that Discord link.
There you go. That's right. Find out about that and have a good time. Hang out with your boys. Also follow us on the Instagram, of course.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram at DeadLovelyPod.
That's right. Well, you guys have been fantastic. Hope everybody out there is having a safe and happy holiday season. Spread cheer, not COVID. Be responsible, y'all.
Good call. Yeah.
And be sure to tune in next time. Hang out with old Uncle Ben.
And Hollywood Steve.
Right here on Dead and Lovely. You guys have been fantastic. We've been all right, I guess.
Yeah, we've been pretty good.
Fair to middling, I reckon. Bye.
Bye. So I had this dream the other night, Ben, that we were recording the podcast, and for some reason, you just, while we were recording, we were in person recording, you just pulled out your guitar and started practicing and noodling around on it. And
I mean, this sounds like something that could happen, and something I may have even debated doing in the past, but I was like, I think the mic would pick it up.
Yeah, probably would. So you just started noodling around, and as happens when you are noodling around, you can be involved somewhat in a conversation, but like you're a little bit slower because you're paying attention to your guitar. So I would say something, and then you'd just finish up your noodling, and then you'd answer. After a while, I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be a little bit weird. And you were like, you can just edit it. And you kept playing.
You might have actually just had a vision into a parallel universe, a little pocket reality right there, because this all sounds like things that could happen.
It's
Steve.
true. It's possible.
Me being an asshole about my own self-absorbed, constant noodling on the guitar, letting it invade every other area of my life and affect people around me. This sounds pretty real to me.
I think we actually may have even talked about it at some point early on, because we were talking about whether or not we were going to have music on the podcast. And I think it may have been something we even thought about, you playing while we were doing it. Definitely in my dream, it didn't work.
I think this is the main reason why we keep music in the background on the podcast, is to prevent me from playing guitar over it. Because in my head, I'd be like, it'd clash. What if I'm not in the same key as the backing music? It'll be a wreck.
That was actually in my dream. I remember while you were doing it, thinking this is going to be hard to edit because it probably will pick up the guitar, so the notes will be all fucked up.
It's just jazz. It's just jazz.